Welcome. In this video, I'm going to take you through the PowerPoint in-class practice exercise that's found in week 2. Let's go to week 2 folder. By now, you should have watched all the lessons that are in week 2 lessons PowerPoint part 1 and week 2 lessons PowerPoint part 2. There are some sample PowerPoints that you can find in this folder to help you along. And the practice exercise is right here. There are instructions here of what we're going to do. Basically, we're going to create a PowerPoint where the topic is places I would like to visit. And in this link here, you'll find some files that will help us with our demonstration. First thing, download all of these files. After you've downloaded them, open them all up. So what we have is a blank PowerPoint to start off with, a Word document that we're going to use as a storyboard. We also have a Word document that we've already done some research about our topics, and another Word document where we have some URLs from websites that we visited with photos that we're going to use in our PowerPoint. Okay, so the first step, if I'm going to make a PowerPoint, most people think you're going to just jump right in and open up Microsoft PowerPoint and start working away. But actually, you should sort of storyboard your activity. Create a diagram, and in that diagram, list what you're going to say on slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, etc. Plan out your PowerPoint first. It'll save you a lot of time in the process when you create it. Next, go do some research. Make a list of what you're going to say for each slide. Collect any photos that you might need. You can even pre-type out your citations so it's ready to go. And if you've gone to a website, while you're there, copy the link to that website so you don't have to go find it again later. So take some time and do all of this planning work ahead of time. And then you're going to be ready to just jump in. Here is our PowerPoint screen, and along the top here you're going to find what we call the ribbon that has a number of different options like copying and paste or inserting things like text boxes, photos, etc. Here's some drawing tools, design, transitions. You're going to be spending a lot of time on this ribbon, animations, a lot of time on this one, and slideshow where you get to start the slideshow from the beginning or the current slide, etc. So a number of different features here that you just get yourself acquainted with. Now, on the left-hand side here, we've got an image of the first slide and our working area over here. If you go to File, New, you'll be able to see a lot of different themes that you can use. And when you're choosing your theme, you got to think about what it is you're going to be talking about. So you want to make it match. So if you're going to be talking about travel, maybe this one isn't the proper theme to have. This would be something maybe for something technical, a computer PowerPoint presentation of some sort. Or if you're going to be telling me about some accounting or financial services, maybe this would make more sense than to talk to me about travel, right? So pick a theme that makes sense with the topic at hand. I chose this one. This is an old background theme because I want to talk about travel in the Mediterranean, and this reminds me of the Med, the blue waters, the waves, etc. So it lends itself to the theme. Okay, so here's the first step. Let's put a title in here. So if we're going to insert something, it's probably going to be on the Insert tab, and we're going to put a text box. So here's our text box, and we are going to type places I would like to visit. So now that I've typed it in, I want to make this a little bit bigger. So all I need to do, just like in most other software packages, I need to just select the text. I can come up here and select a font that I like. I'm just going to keep it simple and go with Arial. I can also select the font size, and as I hover over a number, I get a preview on the screen. I'm going to go with that. And I can also change the color. Go with white. I can reposition the text box by just grabbing the borders and moving it around, left-clicking it on the border and moving it around. If I want to center it, there is a snap line. You see it right there briefly. That's telling me it's centered, except what it's telling me is the box is centered, but the text inside is not. So I need to go over here to the alignment and select center. So now that's perfectly centered. Another option is to just stretch my box, my text box, to the edges and select center. Now again, I know that this item is completely centered. There's my title page. I now want to add another slide. I can come up here and go new and select from some of these options here. Or another thing I could do is simply duplicate what I already have. And the reason I chose duplicate is because I want to reuse this text. So I want to just make it a little smaller. About that. I want to have it left aligned, and I want to place it up here in the top. This is just my own personal style. I want to have the title visible. And now I want to add some text again. So I'm going to go to Insert, Text Box, and I'm going to type some places I want to visit. And I'm going to change that font size. Select it all. And again, I'm going to make it maybe, I'm going to make it 60. And I'm going to give it some bullets. Now you got a bunch of different options here to choose from. I'm going to keep it simple and just pick regular bullets. Okay, so now I have 2 slides. Take a quick look at how your PowerPoint is coming out so you can fix any problems early. Let's go to slideshow from the beginning, and there is my PowerPoint. Okay, so let's create another slide. I'm going to duplicate this one. Right click, duplicate slide, and I'm just going to get rid of these 2 items. I'm just going to move my text box around, and I think in this case I'm going to get rid of the bullet. Now let's add some more text. So I'm going to insert text box. There it is. Now remember earlier we had created a Word document with a bunch of research on it, so here it is. So now I'm just going to copy it, go back to my text box and paste that research in. I'm going to change the font size again. All right. Now I also had a document with some photos. I'm going to click on the photo. You can see it's been activated. Control C to copy. Come over here to my PowerPoint, Control V to paste, or Command V if you have a Mac. And I can rearrange my image around on the screen. I want to make it a little bit bigger, so I'm going to grab it from the corner, not from an edge, because if I grab it from the edge, I'm stretching it. And don't try to fix it, because you'll never get it back. The best friend is the undo button. So there, now it's back to its normal. Again, don't grab it from here. You're going to distort the image. So let's undo. Always grab it from the corner, hit the Shift button, and drag, and now you are changing its size proportionately. Okay, so I kind of like it there. That's not bad. Problem is, I've now covered up the text. So I've got a couple options. One, I could select all of this text and make it a little bit smaller, which I think I'm going to do that first of all. Okay, so it's a little bit smaller. That's fine. The picture is still over top of text. So let's click on that text box again. You can see the outline of the text box comes way over here under the image. So let's drag it back. And as we do, PowerPoint has automatically rearranged the text. So now it's not underneath the image. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's come back over here. I've already done my citation. So I'm going to copy it, come back to my PowerPoint. I'm going to paste. And when I pasted it, it automatically put it into a box. and I am just going to place it around there. Again, you can look at this text and decide how big you want it. At the end of the day, it's important. It needs to be there, but I don't want it to be too distracting. So I don't want it to be too big, and I certainly don't want it to be like over 2 lines like it is here. So I'm just going to find a size that I think looks good, and I think that's it. And I'm going to line it up with the left side of the image. You could put it in the center. It's up to you. I'm personally going to do it on the left side. Okay. So now we've got our first slide. Let's put some transitions. So if we're to play this PowerPoint right now, here it is. And if I hit enter, there's my second slide. Hit enter again. There's my third slide. All right. So let's go back. We're going to click on the transition tab. I'm going to click on the first one. And you can see here the transition that's chosen is fade. And if you click on the down arrow here, there's a number of different options that you can choose from. Again, I'm going to click fade, and then over here, when do I want to have it? Well, I could have it on the mouse click, but for this presentation, I want everything to happen automatically. And I'm going to choose 10 seconds, a little long. Let's just try 3 seconds for now. Let's go to the next slide. Fade happened to be chosen again, and I'm going to change the time for this one. I'm going to make it 5 seconds. Let's go to the next slide. I'm going to make that 5 seconds as well. And in each case, it's after, like it's automatic. It's not on the mouse click. So now that I've made a bunch of changes, I'm going to come up to slideshow. I'm going to play it from the beginning. And now I am not hitting the keyboard. It's changing on its own from one slide to another. Okay, that's not bad. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to hit escape. And now, something I should have done even earlier, I'm going to hit Save As. I am going to go to my desktop. I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to call it PowerPoint. Go into that folder, and this is going to be my demo version 1. I'm going to save it. Okay, so I've saved it now, and I at least have it. I'm happy with my progress to this point. I'm going to continue on. So I'm going to now add some animations. So you can see here, I've got 3 lines of text. I'm going to select it all. I'm going to click on animation. I'm also going to click on the animation pane, and I'm going to choose, currently none is chosen. I'm going to choose fade, because I'm going to keep it simple. And over here, we got 3 choices. Do I want to have it start on a click? Do I want to have it start with the previous animation or transition, or after? Well, in this case, I want it to be after. And then you can choose how long the animation will take. So I'm just going to say 0.75, and how long the delay is. I'm going to make that 0.75 as well. And here you've got a little graphic representation of how things are going to occur. All right, so I'm happy so far. I'm going to just see how this slide works. There's a preview button here. That's not bad. Alternatively, you can come up here to slideshow and pick from current slide. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's go to the next slide, and I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to pick all of this text, and I'm going to go to animation, animation pane, pick the animation I want, which is fade. I want it after previous. Again, I'm just going to keep it simple, 0.75 for each. I'm going to click on the text down here, fade, after previous, 0.75. I'm going to click on Athens, fade, after previous, 0.75. And I'm going to click on the image. I can even animate the image. So everything now is animated. So let's take a look and see what this slide looks like now. Okay, so the animation is not bad. It's just the order I don't like. It's not coming up the way I would want it. So let's click on the animation pane. And over here you can see all the different items, right? So what I want is for Athens to be the first one. So I can click on Athens and just drag it up. You see the red line there? And I release it. Now Athens is the first item. And you know what? Maybe I want the image to also come up like early on. So I'm gonna move it up by hitting the up arrow. You can see moving the image to the second position. And I think I want the citation to come along with the image, so I'm going to move that up again. All right, so now I've done a few changes. I'm going to take a quick look at it. I don't want to go too far ahead of myself because I want to make sure I'm happy with it at any given point. Okay, so that's better. And just like in a computer game where you save a waypoint and you've made some progress because you don't want to start all the way at the beginning, I'm happy with what I've got so far. So I'm going to save it as version 2. All right. Now I do want to make some changes. I think I want the Athens, the title, and the image to appear together. So here is Athens, and I'm going to click on the animation tab again. And here's the image. And instead of after previous, in this case, I'm going to say with previous. And I want to do the same thing with the citation at the bottom. So I'm going to say with previous for that as well. And notice that the icon up here, the image, they're all lining up. So it's kind of telling you that these three events are going to take place together. So let's take a quick look and see what it looks like now. Let's go to slideshow from current slide. I'm picking current slide because I'm kind of happy with what I've done up until this point. So I don't want to watch the whole thing all over again because I'm only caring about this slide. Okay, so the images came together with the text, the heading, and now the rest of the text. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to sort of cheat a little bit. I'm going to duplicate that one. And I'm going to simply, you can see now here's the first one and here's the second one. They're both the same. So I'm just going to change this to Rome. And I'm going to go back to my Word document. And I'm going to highlight all of the material about Rome. Come back here, paste it in. Now, unfortunately, the font changed, so I'm going to go back to my old one. I want to be consistent, so I'm just going to check and make sure what font I use. So it's Cambria 36. So I'm going to come over here, select it all, and I'm going to pick Cambria 36. And I'm going to get rid of this image. Go back to my Word document. Copy the image. Back to PowerPoint. Paste it. Move it around to where I think I like it. Back to my Word document. Here's the text for my citation. Copy it. And paste it. Oh, so now this citation is a little bit longer. So I'm going to actually make the font size a little bit smaller. Not bad. Because I want it to fit underneath the image, and I don't want it to be over 2 lines. Okay, so now I've made some changes. Let's take a look and see how this slide looks. So slideshow from current slide. Oh, well, the animation is different this time around. Why is that? Well, partly because I deleted the image, so that's going to change the animation. So I got to fix a few things. One thing I noticed is I have bullets over here. I don't have bullets on this slide. So let's highlight it all, home, and put in some bullets. And now the font is a little bit too big. Okay, so let's change that font size. Let's make it 32. But since I made this 32, I'm going to go back and change this one as well because I want it to be consistent. All right. Let's go back here. The image. Oh, the image isn't actually on my list because I deleted it initially. So let's come back and put fade. And I want it to be with previous. And remember 0.75 and 0.75. And I'm going to move it up so that it lines up with the text box. Okay. Now let's try this one more time. Slideshow from current slide. Okay, that's much better. And before I go too far, I'm actually going to play the whole thing. Okay, so overall, I am pretty happy with what I have. One of the things I'm going to have to work on is the timing. My suggestion to you is if there's somebody else that you have nearby, a roommate, a classmate, etc., sit them in front of your PowerPoint and watch them view your PowerPoint. If they aren't able to read everything before it goes to the next line, or if they're waiting around too long before it goes to the next slide, then you don't have the proper timing and you're going to need to just alter that a little bit. Okay, so what have we done so far? We've added slides, we've added text, we've changed the color, we've changed the font size, we've added transitions, we've added animations. Now let's see what else we can add. Let's add a video. So once again, I'm just going to duplicate this one. And I'm just going to delete everything from the slide other than the title. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want that title to always be in the exact same spot. It looks more fluid as you're going from one slide to another. Okay, so now let's go back to our Blackboard page. Let's move down to the exercise continued. And if you click here, you're going to find some sample audio and video files to use for practice. So let's download those. So here's my audio file, here's my video file. I'm just going to move them into my PowerPoint folder just so that they're handy and I know where they are. And let's bring back PowerPoint. So I want to insert a video. So I'm going to go Insert, Media, Video from my device. Desktop, PowerPoint, and here's the video I want to insert. So here is my video inside my file. I can resize it. I can go to video format. I can put borders around it, make it look kind of cool. I can go to playback, and I can decide if I want to play full screen or hide while not playing. I can fade it in and fade it out for a certain time frame. I can trim the video just by dragging these start and end points. I'm going to hit OK. I can play it to see what it looks like. Okay, I can move it around the screen if I wanted to. And I can even change the animation, just like any other item. Okay, so now let's see how it goes. Now I'm going to start my presentation from the slide before, just because I want to see how it goes from one to the other. All right. So that's pretty good. It went to the next slide and the video is playing. So that's now kind of interesting. Now, the next step I want to do is I want to have some music playing in the background, so it makes it, again, a little more interesting. So I want to go to the first slide, and I'm going to insert media, audio. The audio is on my device. It's in my desktop, PowerPoint, Happy Tree. I'm going to insert that. So here is my little icon telling me that I got audio on this. And if I go up here to playback, I can hide it during the show because I don't want it to appear on the screen when I'm playing. Right now, it'll play for the first slide. I want it to play across all the slides. So I'm going to click play across the slide and loop until stopped, which means if the audio is only, say, 10 seconds long, when it gets to the end of the 10 seconds, it'll start again and keep playing over and over again until the end. All right, so we've now added all of that. Let's take a quick look at the whole presentation to see how it looks. Okay, so that's not bad. I like the way the music played across all the slides, but now the music is playing over top of the audio from the video, so that's not so great. So let's go back to the first slide. Let's click on the audio. Let's click on the audio, right click, and let's work on timing. And timing, we want it to stop after 1, 2, 3, 4 slides. So I'm going to change this number to 4. Hit OK. And now what's going to happen is it's going to play until we get here, and then it's going to stop. And then we'll see the video here. So that's pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with it. I am now going to once again save it as version 3. Okay. So now let's take a look at something else. So I'm going to save some time, I'm just going to duplicate these and use these as my next slides. So there it is, and I'm going to move this down below, and I'm going to duplicate this one as well. So let's just assume they had different names here. Maybe this was Santorini and this is Rhodes or something. Okay, so now what do I have? I've got audio, 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 audio playing. Then I have the video, but then I'm going to have no audio here again. And I want to have music playing after that video is done. So what do? Well, I just add audio one more time. Media, audio, Happy Tree, insert. Now keep in mind, in the animation, it's now at the end, and we don't want it to be at the end. We actually want it to be at the beginning. So let's drag that all the way to the top. And now we have to set it up again. So play across all slides, loop until stopped, hide during show. So now, if we play the slideshow from the beginning, okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. What do we have left to do? Well, let's go back to that first one, and let's add a hyperlink. So we're going to go to Insert. I'm going to add a text box. So I'm going to type down here I'm going to type for more information, click here. Now, let's go back and find a website we want to use for our hyperlink. Okay, so here's a website that I find interesting. All I got to do is click up here in the URL, copy it, go back to my PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to select all of this text, and I'm going to go to Insert, Links, click Links again. Down here is the address. So I'm going to paste the address, and this is the text that is going to be used, and hit OK. And now I have a hyperlink. So at this point, you've got all of the elements you need for your PowerPoint. The next thing to do is just simply work at improving the timing of all of your animations and all of your transitions so that the viewer has enough time to read everything and take in all the information you're providing. Okay? So once again, let's go to slideshow. Let's hit from the beginning. One way you can do it is just read it out loud to yourself. That seems to help with the timing. Oh, the timing of this is incorrect. I don't want it at the beginning, but let's just test it out though. Okay, so the URL is working fine. I just don't like the timing of when I put it there. Okay, so let's recap what we've done. We've chosen a theme, we've added a slide, we've added text, we've changed the text color, the text size, the font itself, we've added bullets, we've added animation, we've moved around the animation, changed the order of the animation, we've added transitions, we've added audio and video and hyperlinks. And these are all the elements that you need to include in your PowerPoint presentation that you're going to do for your assignment. Oh, and one final thing, if you want to move things around, you just need to click on it and drag it, then release, and you can move your slides around on the left-hand side. And I guess the other thing we didn't do is change the animation of the hyperlink. So let's go to animation and let's say fade in. When do we want it? After previous, and give it the same timing everything else did. But I think I'm going to have to change the transition time. I think it's going to need a little more time. So I'm going to do that. And again, I'm going to file, save as, call this version 4. And I'm going to sit down, my roommate, etc., let them sit beside me or in front of the computer and watch them go through the presentation and make sure they have the right timing. So that's it for this exercise. Good luck.